This is the Transforming Anxiety Podcast with Kelly Hanlon McCormick, and today is episode number 241, Two Contradictory Approaches. Welcome to Transforming Anxiety. I'm your host, Kelly McCormick. I'm a mom to two boys, a wife, friend, daughter, and sister, and I'm a certified life coach, yoga teacher, and soon-to-be mindfulness meditation teacher. I'm no stranger to anxiety, and I'm here to teach you how to manage your mind and your emotions so that you too can transform anxiety into calm, peace, and whatever you want for your life. I'm so glad you're here. Hey there, welcome in today. If you're in the States, happy Thanksgiving week. Or, should I say, it is Thanksgiving week. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to presume a happy there. Let's just say, yep, it's here. We made it. Right? Maybe good, maybe difficult. In fact, for most people with holidays, things are about half good and half difficult. Yeah? And sometimes, for one reason or another, things tip more towards good or more towards difficult, depending on the year or the season or the situation. I hear you. I've had good holidays. I've had difficult holidays. Yeah, you're not alone in that. So wherever you are on that spectrum of experience and emotion, and hey, more holidays are coming, right? The end of the year is right around the corner. So yes, maybe happy Thanksgiving or simply Thanksgiving. And just know I'm with you, that I hear you, and I've been there wherever you are, however you're feeling, and you're not alone. Also, you are going to hear, I've been dealing with a little bit of a head cold here lately, so I apologize for how I'm sounding this week. I'm feeling better though, so that's good. All right, I hope, anyway, today's episode will be helpful no matter where you are on this whole experience spectrum of holiday stuff. We're going to explore two contradictory approaches today. And my intention for today's conversation is that we hang out in the gray, right? Our human brains love very clear, black and white, all or nothing extremes, right? We like to clearly label things. We like to understand things to be one obvious thing. No nuance, no back and forth, just here's what. And one of the things that I believe is we really, really need to work on with all this work, something we really need to practice on, is continually encouraging our minds into that middle part, the gray, the messy part that lies in that huge in-between of those extremes and those neat labels, that we keep reminding ourselves the large majority of life is in the gray. Like, we all know this, but I don't know that we're actively seeking it out and practicing it all that much. So today we're talking about two contradictory approaches, and we're going to have a chance to practice with this and to actually live in the gray intentionally, to go back and forth. We're going to try on multiple vantage points, different ways of being. I really think this is important. So, okay, let's talk about the two contradictory approaches that we're going to practice. These are pretty wide-ranging, and so they can be applied to many different situations, which is why I like putting these in the same container and considering them together. I also think we need multiple tools, right? We need more than one skill set. Although, man, wouldn't that be great if just one tool, one practice, one way was the way? That'd be handy. Some people teach that way, right? Just meditate, just do CrossFit, just eat keto, just journal. That'd be nice. Sounds good. But I don't know, that just hasn't been my experience. That one way or one practice is the way. I think we need many tools. I think we need like an actual whole complete toolbox. So, a couple of kind of contradictory tools. We're going to take two of the tools out of the toolbox today and kind of hold them together and just consider them together and explore this together today. And these two concepts that I'm focusing on today are tapas and titrating. So let's talk about each of these because I'm guessing those terms might be new to you, all right? So the first one, tapas, this is a yoga thing. This is one of the 5 niyamas. There's the yamas and the niyamas. These are 2 of the 8 limbs of yoga. You don't need to know any of that. Suffice to say, tapas is one of the teachings. It's one of the many aspects of the overall practice of yoga, and it means discipline. Like the root of the word tap, T-A-P, comes from a Sanskrit word which means to burn. So there's also this element of like fiery passion or burning enthusiasm that comes with tapas too. So discipline plus to burn. Like, yes, I love this imagery. The visual this calls up, right? Discipline is helpful, sure. But I love the image of a fire, of stoking and feeding a fire, basically, right? Keeping the heat on. This is something that's been really, really valuable to me. I think about this practice, tapas, as a way to personally keep showing up, as a way to just keep going, as a way to keep the heat on with whatever I'm up to, even when I don't want to, even when it gets tough, even when I'm not in the mood or whatever I'm up to doesn't seem to be working, right? You name it, whatever obstacle is in the way. This is an idea, this is a visual that really keeps me going. All right, so let's talk about titrating for a second, then we're going to bring this together. Titrating, now I mentioned this a long time ago on an episode, I forget which one, but this is an idea in both the world of chemistry and the world of mindfulness, okay? We're just going to stick with the mindfulness concept for today. Titrating is this dance. It's like the back and forth of going in, exploring, and most often this is about feeling and processing emotion, like really allowing yourself to go there, immersing yourself in the experience, feeling what it feels like to be anxious or sad or mad or bored. Just lean into the emotion and then lean out. Take a breath. Go do something else for a while. Give yourself a break from the intensity of the emotion and turn the volume way down. Go for a walk. Put your attention on something else. Call a friend. Dive into a work project, something. And then, when you feel resourced and rested, come back in, right? Then you go back to the experience or the memory or the emotion and be there again. Process it and feel it. So you titrate in and out. You let yourself go all in, but part of it is that you know there's a break coming. There's a breather. So you can go all in and then back off, right? You gather yourself together and then you can go back in again. This is the way a lot of healing goes. This is the way a lot of processing goes. This can be the way big, hard conversations go, right? Talk a bit, take a break, talk some more, take another break. You titrate in and out. So, tapas and titrating, 2 contradictory approaches, yeah? Like again, if there was only one way, if only, that would be great. But it's the gray, right? We have to be willing to try different things, to use different tools, to practice different skills. And I think these are 2 contradictory approaches to ask, which one do I need here? Sometimes I need tapas. I need to keep the heat on, right? Fiery, burning discipline, just keep going. And other times, I have to go all in And then I have to back way off. Give myself a break. Breathe. So this is an all both thing. Like, can you imagine if you had to keep the heat on in every situation? My goodness. But also, there are things that really need you to just keep going, right? Keep pushing, keep stoking that fire. So if you were to back off periodically, you'd lose momentum, you'd lose steam, you'd lose motivation. So we need both. Two contradictory approaches. Our job is to know there's more than one approach and to know which one to use and when. Yeah. So how about a couple of examples? Let's talk this out a bit more. Tapas, titrating. Two words that most of us don't use on the regular, I'm going to guess. And I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to bet this hasn't been the topic of a podcast anywhere else before either. Right? Has anybody ever put these in conversation before? Tapas and titrating. All right, I'll give you a couple things going on with me. A place where tapas is needed and one where I have to titrate. All right? So, all right, keeping the heat on. One place I do this is in my yoga practice. I keep pushing and practicing and showing on my mat pretty much every day. It's something that I think, for now at least, benefits from my showing up regularly. From tapas. Burning discipline. Fiery enthusiasm. Keep the heat on. A lot of habits are like this, right? That's what makes them habits, after all, right? Doing them pretty much all the time. Being somewhat relentless about them. Tired days, sore days, moody days, just keep showing up. For me, and again, this isn't a mandate, this is my personal experience, so don't take this as me telling you that this is how everybody needs to practice yoga. But for me, there's a practice in the practice of showing up no matter what. Like, what does it feel like to practice when I'm tired or when I'm sore? Or, let's say, hypothetically, I ate a whole bunch of holiday food, right? What does it feel like to do a few hard days in a row? A few easy days in a row? What if I pair yoga with hiking, with good sleep, with travel, with friends, with different kinds of music? All the things, right? What if I do yoga first thing in the morning? What if I do it over lunch? What if I do it before bed? How does it feel? What shifts? Like, this is all part of tapas, keeping the heat on, noticing, experimenting, shifting and adjusting and becoming aware of what matters, maybe what doesn't matter, how the practice affects me, right? How different things affect the practice or not. I like all of this. Again, this is for me. This is for now. Maybe I'll change my mind about it tomorrow. Who knows? But a place where I personally need to titrate is with my relationships. And particularly when there are hard conversations in relationships. I have to take a break. Now, again, this is me. This is me personally. I'm an internal processor. I have to think through things in my mind and really feel it and play it out and process things in my head first. Some of you are external processors. I'm not like that. I'm not someone who needs to vent and talk and get things off my chest. I am the opposite of that. So in my relationships, it's really important to me, like vital even, that I'm given some space to talk and to share and then to back way off. Go process alone for a while. And then I can go back in and work things out and talk and share. And then I can back off. But knowing that I can titrate, that we are not in a tapas situation, that knowledge is crucial to my being able to show up and talk at all. Like if I thought I had to hash it all out from beginning to end in one sitting, tapas style, well, I'd be done for. I could never do it. It's just not who I am that way. But titrating, excuse me, titrating, I can definitely do. Sure thing. When I'm in a safe and secure relationship with someone who knows I will return, I will come back to you, I will continue this conversation. I'm not leaving. I'm just backing off so I can catch my breath for a while. Maybe a day, maybe a week, whatever. That's enormously helpful to me. So tapas, titrating, two contradictory approaches. So just consider, how does this show up for you? Can you find places where it's useful for you to keep the heat on, right? Where you need to encourage yourself to keep showing up, keep going. And sometimes that means powering through and pushing yourself a bit. And then other places where you know you won't get a thing accomplished, you won't be able to connect, you simply won't even be able to be there if you can't take a break at some point, if you can't titrate out to take a breather. So take a look, take this one with you, see how this is for you, where this shows up, where you need tapas, where you need to titrate. And be willing to be in the gray, that middle part, because we need both of these practices. It's not always tapas, and it's not always titrating. I know that would simplify things, right? Life would be so easy if there were just a few things, like bright line rules that we knew for sure and we just followed them and executed. We just live happily ever after. It's not that way. It doesn't work like that. We have to suss out what's what for ourselves, where we need which practice, what serves us and works best for us. Tapas, titrating. Yeah? All right. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Couple reminders. Be sure you've subscribed to the podcast wherever you listen. Be sure you're on my email list going into the new year so you don't miss any announcements about classes and practices that are coming up. And if you haven't already, I'd welcome a rating and review. I always love to get your thoughts on the show, what you want to hear, what questions you have for me, how this is landing for you, all that stuff. And I will see you at the same time, same place next week for more Transforming Anxiety. And until then, please take care. Do you have someone to help you with your stress, anxiety, worry, and overwhelm? If not, I would love to be your coach. The Fierce Calm Project is my virtual coaching program where we get to go in on topics like this one, and I can help you apply these lessons to your life so that you're creating your own transformation. We do live coaching calls, guided meditations, on-demand yoga classes. We hold book club where we read books your neighborhood book club won't, and there's lots of bonus content that I've created just for you. When you're ready to take what you're learning on the podcast to a whole other level, then come on over and check out the Fierce Calm Project at kellyhanlonmccormick.com/Fierce Calm Project.